Almost 3 years. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doug. What's a dinosaur's least favorite cleaning product? Comet.
Well done. Very well done. Nothing like a good dad joke to get the day started.
Kind of addicted to them.
Morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning.
I've never done this on my phone before.
Hey, Doug.
Yes.
I already got agents reaching out to me.
I'm not surprised. Line it up. That's
Yep.
great. I saw the mineral oil and gas rights. Don't forget the other disclosure, okay?
Yeah, the property disclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will get that done.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. And for Morgan, thank you for coming in for doing and being willing to set us up with another one of your really cool presentations. The Instagram one was really helpful last time. I feel like people have been using it more, although I will remind everybody when you do your posts and you do your stories, especially make sure to @ the company. That way I can share them. I can't do it. Instagram won't allow you to share stories if you don't @ me. So make sure you @ the company so I can share them. Other than that, Morgan is going to talk to us today about getting your offer accepted. So Morgan, I'll pass the floor over to you.
Okay, I just got to figure this out again, how to share my screen. 1 second. Okay, can you guys see that?
I made you co-host. I don't know if that's going to help give you the option.
Okay,
there we go.
See that? All right, so how to get your buyer offer accepted and win the deal.
There
All
we
right.
go.
And just a forewarning, I have to give you guys a heads up. I'm a little shaky because my daughter was just driving herself to work and my life flashed before my eyes. And I thought that we were going to go under an 18-wheeler. So I'm still a little bit like up. So
I'm glad you didn't.
Me too. Me too. I'm grateful to be here. Okay. So obviously right now the market is crazy and it's getting tougher to have your buyers' offers accepted. So hopefully some of these tactics here, maybe you're already using some of them. If not, I'm hoping that there'll at least be a few things that you guys can take from this anyway.
Oh, thank God.
So Let me see, let me minimize this. Okay. So there are three important factors that can help buyer offers get accepted. The first one is conducting a buyer consultation and understand what their perception of the current market is. Educate your buyer on the reality of the market, tell them the truth about what it takes to win in today's multi-bid situations and set the expectations. And then position your offer to win. And we'll talk about different ways that your lender can help you create a strong case for your buyers as well. So the buyer consultation, I'm pretty sure most of you already do this anyway, I'm assuming, which is just, you know, having the appointment and getting all the information of what's actually, what they're looking for, what's their buyer motivation. That's going to be something that plays a big part in the offers getting accepted now too. How motivated is your buyer? Because if they're not really that motivated, they're probably not going to be able to get a strong offer. Hold on one moment. I can't see you guys. So hold on. I'm just trying to move my screen here so that I can see you guys. Okay, I don't know where you guys went. You guys can still see me, right?
We can.
Okay. Just holler at me then if you have any questions or whatever, because I can't see anybody. So ask about their current market knowledge to see what they already know. And then explain the local market data. Explain the market reality. And then review the process for offer accepted. So to win in today's market, buyers need a strong why. This is where you dig into motivation to buy now. So ask them to score themselves on a scale of 1 to 10. How motivated are you? What is their financial and credit situation? Do they have a lender that they trust? And what do they believe is happening in the current market? What are their expectations around how buying a home today works? Hold on. So I just went over this. I just didn't click forward. I'm sorry. So then the next step with educating your buyer. So new listings, to set proper expectation, engage motivation, you have to show them the reality of the market, not tell them. So you want to show them stats about the market and give them visual proof. It increases the conversation as well. Show the sales to close percentage to show, or close percentage to show that the house prices are not being negotiated down right now. And then check for understanding of the current market reality. And then, sorry. Sale to close percentage. Yeah. So again, you're going to want to show them visuals and maybe show examples of some past, like recent closes that you've had and what those issues were that you had in the offers or what it took to get your offer accepted. So you'll want to also explain supply versus demand. You know, do you know how that works? And then if supply is high and demand is low, prices go up. If supply is down, demand is up, price is up. And then ask them, what kind of market do you think they're in? Because you're going to want to have a good idea starting with them if they, you know, how much they really know about the market, because right now it's just so volatile. So yeah, hold on. Housing is strong, demand is high, rates are low, competition is fierce. So you just definitely want to make sure they really understand where we are. Every house that you show that the buyer doesn't like, have them articulate what they like the best and what makes it a no-go and what price do they think that one will sell at. Kind of do like exercises with them. Use this as an opportunity to educate as they go and lean into questions and discovery. So like maybe show them some houses and ask them, you know, what do you think this house would go for? And maybe even show like what the, or maybe use a house that just sold, for example, show them what the asking price was and then ask them what they think it sold for and then show them what it sold for to see, you know, how well they really know the market. So you want to explain to the buyer as well that they may not get a counter offer, so they need to make the first one count. Here's a questioning process called the ladder strategy. So if you saw that someone else bought this house for X amount, do you think you would have also paid that price for it? So you just want to make sure that you're getting them prepared before you even start discussing the offer that you're putting together with them so that you can position your offer to win. Calling the listing agent is also very important. You want to check in with them, make sure that they got your offer, obviously try and schmooze them in any way that you guys can. Talk to the listing agent before your buyer sees the house so that they know, you're going to check it out. You can ask them, if they already have offers, that sort of thing. How many showings. That way you have a good idea of what the activity is, and you can also build a relationship with the listing agent. Your lender can help too. The way I work is I see myself as an extension of your team. And so it's my goal to help our mutual client win the house. The only way we can do that is if we are synced up on the same page and we are in constant communication, and that we have a clear understanding of each individual buyer's needs, wants, desires, concerns, risk tolerance, things like that. And then that's why the buyer's consultation with you as the agent is ahead of time, tees me up as a lender, and we know what we're working with from a financial standpoint. I believe that as you're talking with buyers about different price points, rather than necessarily having to come back to me every time you guys are trying to figure out, well, how much would the monthly payment be? How much would this change everything? This is just a quick tool, maybe if you want to take a screenshot of it or whatever. It's just a good kind of estimate point to have in your mind when you're talking to your clients about this. Of course, you can always reach out to me, but so that you don't have to ask me every single time, hey, what would their payment be at this purchase price versus that purchase price? Understanding the payment impact can help you. So you can use ballpark figures based on today's market. So for example, for every $50, you can think that would be $10,000 more in price. So every $10,000 more would be an extra $50 in their payment. Oops, hold on. There was one more and I think it skipped. It was just another example. Hold on. Oh, there we go. So that's the other one. So for every $1,000 that you're adding would be an additional $5 in their cost. And again, I mean, with rates changing everything, it's a ballpark figure, but I mean, it's a rough estimate, and it's pretty good with where the rates are now. So I would use this. And then if you want me to help with getting your offer accepted, you can always send me the listing agent's contact and I can follow up with them. I can, give them a call or send a video text. I'll review the pre-approval with them, reinforce the buyer stability, and reassure the certainty of the transaction. And then next is just the escalation clause. We're seeing some markets, especially when a bidding war happens on a home, that they're using this escalation clause. Does anybody know what this is or already use this?
She can't see you guys, right? Yes, we have an escalation clause that we use, Morgan.
Okay. Okay. So then you guys probably already know this, or I don't know if it's different or not, but this is just the example that I was given to show you guys, which, so with an escalation clause, you have to set the terms with your buyers. What is the original offer of the purchase price? How much will that price be escalated above any other competition bid? And then what is the maximum amount the buyer is willing to go in case of the multiple offers? So now with your escalation clauses that you're using now, is that for, you know, you put in your offer, and if that one's not accepted or somebody puts in a higher one, the escalation clause is for them to put in another bid? Is that how you use it?
Basically, the way we use it is it says our offer will automatically improve over the highest offer by X amount.
Okay.
And then we can put a cap on it.
Okay,
So
awesome.
up to, or you could leave it open-ended, I suppose, but most folks are going to want to put a cap on it at some point.
Right. Okay, perfect. So you guys are already using this tactic then. That's awesome. So this is just an example, but you guys know what it is because you're using it. So I'm just going to skip past this. And now the next one, little buyer's love letters. So actually, let me go back to this real quick. So I actually debated taking this slide out of the presentation or not, but I see the subject coming up a lot, especially in the like real estate mastermind groups. Has anyone here used a letter in the past from the buyer to the seller to try and win a deal?
Yeah, I have, but I saw a listing the other day that said because of fair housing law, buyer love letters won't even be presented.
Yeah, so I don't know when this happened because 3 years ago when I bought my house, that's actually how I won my deal in multiple offers. I wrote a letter basically explaining my situation, why I knew that this was the house that I wanted. And they told my agent that was the exact reason why they chose me over everyone else. So it did help me. And that's why it's like, I don't know when this is an issue. Sorry. Okay. So to entice the seller to choose their offer, buyers sometimes write love letters to describe the many reasons why sellers should pick them. And while this may seem harmless, these letters can actually pose fair housing risks because they often contain personal information and reveal characteristics of the buyer, such as race, religion, or familial status, which could then be used knowingly or through unconscious bias as an unlawful basis for a seller's decision to accept or reject an offer. So, in the instant that this method is suggested, which I'm assuming now it's not, but this is just saying if you were to do this, educate your, actually no. So I think this is gonna go over why, what you would say to them to not have them do this now. Because again, I don't know when this kind of took place. I feel like it's pretty new, but I've seen it come up a lot in a lot of the real estate groups. So I wouldn't wanna mess with it. But if somebody does suggest doing it, you know, you can just educate your clients about the fair housing laws and what's happening. And then, you know, inform your clients that you will not be delivering the buyer's love letter and advise others that no buyer love letters will be accepted as part of the ML listing. And remind your clients that their decision to accept or reject an offer should be based on objective criteria only. Document all offers received and the seller's objective reasons for accepting an offer. And then we can go over a few things that will improve the buyer's offer. So let's see. Minimal contingencies. So the less contingencies, the more appealing the offer is. Strong financing. You know, the sellers want to feel confident in knowing that the offer they accepted isn't going to fall through. So get with your lender. As I mentioned before, we can reach out to reassure the buyer's pre-approval and financial situation. I know some listing agents actually prefer that, or I've had listing agents actually call me to confirm that everything is good. So, you know, having me reach out as well, like ahead of time, I don't think would hurt the situation at all. So get with your lender and have them help you out with that. Larger down payments or larger earnest money or due diligence, higher offer, an offer at or above asking is no more negated below asking price. So that's some hard truth that we have to kind of deliver to the borrowers now or your buyers. So also submit a full offer with a cover letter, make it pretty, as professional as you can, and make sure that you include the pre-approval. Also, something that maybe a lot of you don't know is 6% of contracts are terminated. So consider backup offers. Some deals may not close due to issues related to contingencies or failure to perform. So consider asking the listing agent if they're accepting backup offers in the event that something goes south. Consult your buyer on making offers on these properties. Your competition may be less for that house. So you never know. I mean, I think it's definitely a good thing to do, you know, if somebody really likes a house and it's already gone under contract, see if they're offering that backup offer, because if it falls through, then you could be the first one to win it. Then these are just some of the reasons that contracts are terminated. So the top reason, and the number one reason, is the buyer lost their job. 28% higher than normal cause due to COVID-19. Financing issues accounted for 11% of the terminated contracts. All the more reason you work with a competent lender and, you know, make sure that everything is buttoned up on that end. Appraisal issues, that came in at 11% as well. Home inspection issues at 9%.
Wow, buyer lost job, that's high.
And then other reasons like contingencies and such came in at 12%. So also, with knowing this, just as a friendly reminder, Movement has a whole team that works on rescue loans. So we can still make sure that they close in time if there is a situation where that does happen to any of your buyers. If you're working with another lender and something falls through, before you throw it away, you can always give me a call, run the situation by me, and I'll do whatever I can to see if we can get it approved. And if we can, we have a whole team dedicated to making sure that we get it closed on time so that it doesn't delay anything. So this is a real quick one. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I went over? I'm assuming no. So again, just know your buyer's market perception, educate your buyer with the market data, build a relationship with the listing agent, consider backup offers, and team up with your lender. Thank you. Thank you so much for making time for me this morning and allowing me to do another presentation for you. So I'm happy to be part of this team, and I hope that I'm able to provide you guys with something new every time that I do one of these.
Morgan, these are great. I love them. And I'm already looking forward to the next one. So I hope we can talk shortly and get on the calendar for these. It's great in two ways. Honestly, it's great to see reinforcement of things that we talk about on a regular basis as best practices, not just for us. Okay. But so it's not just coming from me, right? You guys are hearing some of these things that are just best practices in general. It's also great to know that you understand that perspective too as a lender, you know, because sometimes we work with lenders who don't understand how competitive the market is and what we're going through. And the first thing they'll say after reviewing somebody's application is, and they need $5,000 in closing costs. Nobody is getting $5,000 in closing costs.
Right.
So don't even lead with that. Please don't even put that bug in my client's ear. It's just not realistic. So that's really good to know that you understand the market like we do. And that's what we need in partners, and why it's when we go and we tell our clients, you can talk to Morgan. You need to talk to Morgan because not only are we your right and left hand and we need to work together, she understands market conditions too. And she knows what it's going to take to get the job done for you. So, you know, make sure that you're articulating that. You can't leverage your lender enough, not only with your clients, but also with the other agent. Who was surprised to see call the other agent in there, win the other agent in there? How much do we talk about that? It's so, if you can get a hold of them, right? But, you know, that's the best practice. So make sure you're doing that. Use your lender to do that as well. Here's the thing. That agent might work with Morgan. They might love Morgan. That might win you the deal because they know Morgan, but make sure they know Morgan is on the other side of it. Don't wait for them to find the letter in the middle of, 30 pages of the offer docs. You know what I mean? Make sure you take advantage of that. Any other questions from anybody else or any other comments?
I have one other thing to just add, as far like best practices for any of your buyers who are shopping, because we always get those buyers who are all about the rates. They just want the lowest interest rate, which it's so volatile right now and so unstable. The rates are not only changing daily, but they're changing throughout the day. I mean, twice in the last week, I went into lock a loan right as I quoted it. And as I was locking it, the rates were changing and I couldn't lock. I had to wait for them to update, and then I had to lock in at a higher interest rate. So because they are changing so quickly, if any of your buyers are talking about, shopping around for a different lender and it's based on rates, just make sure you're telling them, if that's what they're doing, that they need to get all their estimates and compare them all on the same day. Because, you can get an estimate from somebody today, and then you come to me tomorrow. Well, I'm not going to compare it to the rate that you got yesterday because it's probably going to be different today. So just something to keep in mind. If any of your buyers are mentioning that, just educate them on how quickly the rates are changing and how unstable it is. So if they're going to do that, they want to make sure they set some time to reach out to all the lenders that they want to work with, get the quotes and compare and make a decision that same day. So
yeah, that's a really good point and a fair point. And, we all come across people who want to shop. Just, you got to say, hey, you got to make sure you're comparing apples to apples because this stuff is changing multiple times daily. So make sure you have the whole picture.
So with that, Morgan, what do you do to combat builder incentives? Use my lender, get 5,000 or whatever.
Yeah, builder incentives are hard. I'm a preferred lender for a builder too. And so for that specific builder, I am able to do a lender credit because that's our agreement, but I'm not able to really do that for it. I can do it, but it's going to come, if they're wanting a closing cost, they're going to have a higher interest rate. If they want a lower interest rate, they're not going to get a lender credit. It's kind of like what's more important.
So that's what I was wondering too, is if, being that you just said that you represent builders too, is it a shell game where they're getting a credit, but they're higher rate?
So with the agreement that I think in a lot of cases that is how it works. The way that I have it set up, it's not affecting the buyer because the builder is helping with the incentive as well. So we're not having to upcharge anything else, but that is usually how it works. It looks great on the front end, but somewhere in the back it's built in somewhere, right? Nothing's really free. Right. So when it does come to those, when I'm competing against any lenders like that, it stinks, but hopefully I just try and win them by letting them know that, I'm available all the time. They have my personal cell number. They can text or call any questions. And after they close, Movement is going to keep their loan, service their loan. And if they have any questions on their mortgage, they can still call or text me and I'm still there to help them. It's not, once they're closed, I'm out of the picture. So I try to win myself, or sell myself, I should say, versus an interest rate. Sometimes it works and sometimes people are just focused on the interest rate. But there are some things that I can do that a lot of other lenders can't to lower a monthly payment, which is I can shop around for more. I know with VA situation I can't really win that one because they don't have mortgage insurance. But if you have a conventional loan and they're putting down less than 20%, I'm actually able to shop like 7 or 8 different mortgage insurance companies where most other lenders don't. They have one mortgage insurance company they work with. So that's the price. So I am able to find other ways to lower monthly payments sometimes. So I always just ask if they are shopping and they think that they found something better to at least just send it over to me so that I can take a look. Because I know most of the time that people are getting quoted a lower interest rate, they're actually getting charged for it, but they don't realize it. And it's in the disclosures. So legally, that lender has done their job because it's disclosed. But most people, unless they're in this industry, don't know what origination points means on disclosures. They don't know what it means at all. So they're not going to question it, but that's them actually paying for their lower interest rate.
Most people don't do the research. They just see the numbers and they're like, okay, that's it.
And I personally, I don't operate that way. I can't quote somebody something that I'm going to charge them and not tell them. So I always just say, here's what I can give you without charging you anything. And if you wanted to buy down your interest rate, then we can talk about what that would look like. Because go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish what
I was just going to say 9 times out of 10, like I know Navy Fed, for example, is a good one. We're usually around the same with interest rates, but sometimes somebody will get a lower interest rate from them. And then when they send me the estimate right off the bat, I see, well, they're charging you for this rate and you didn't even realize it. So if I charged you for this rate too, I could actually charge you less and give you the same rate. That's usually what it comes down to a lot of the time. So yeah, just you guys knowing that stuff too, if you know that your buyers are shopping around, just letting them know that there's a lot to kind of look for on those estimates to make sure that they're really comparing everything fairly. But I'm always more than happy to go over the estimates with anybody. So
all I was going to say is that's something that we script and it's awkward's not the right term, but it is a little bit because you've done both sides. So you can see it from both perspectives, being a preferred lender for a builder and also being somebody who butts up against preferred lenders, right? Because I know I've brought people to you who you beat the preferred lender or you showed the value why your deal is ultimately better than them. And that's the script when we go into a community like that. It's like, yes, understand that they're offering these incentives, but you have to understand what the long-term cost of those incentives are. So make sure you talk to Morgan so you can make sure that you're actually comparing the right numbers to the right numbers. So you see, because yeah, of course, closing costs look great up front. And sometimes that is the only option because people are cash poor or, they have low liquidity. But if they don't, most people are more focused on the rate because that's cost over a longer term. So just make sure you're able to articulate that in those situations to show why, a given client should talk to our lender. That's really helpful, Morgan, and really cool because I don't think we've ever had a discussion with anybody who can speak to it from both sides like that. So that's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, if you guys ever have any more questions on any of the stuff I went over or any of the stuff, on my side, you guys know you can always call or text me. So
yeah, thank you for always being available. Any questions from anybody else? You guys good? All right, there are just a couple of talking points I want us to catch up on real quick before I let you guys go. Morgan, thank you so much. I'll be in touch later. If you want to send me some dates towards the end of this month or in April that work for Thursday, let me know. We'll get something done.
Okay, sounds good. I'll also follow up. I'll send you a checklist that kind of goes along with everything that we went over today too.
Perfect. And I'll add this video to our resources page, everybody, and then I'll add that as a supplement to it so you'll have it for reference.
All right. Thank you guys.
Morgan, bye.
Thank you.
So I hope that was helpful. And honestly, the takeaways were how important is the consult? Make sure you're not just settling for showing a house, right? Take the advantage of that first opportunity of meeting folks to provide the value. Your value is not opening a door. Your value is helping make sure people feel comfortable and confident about this process. Any monkey can open a door. Don't be a monkey. All right. Get out there and show them the difference. All right. The consult, set the expectations, and utilize your lender, right? Make sure you leverage your lender with your client, but also the agent. I love that it talked about winning the other agent. I know that's hard because a lot of these agents aren't answering the phone or replying to text right now, but I'm not using that as an excuse. It's not an excuse not to use it as a best practice. You can't help it if they don't reply, but it's up to you to give it a shot, right? So make sure that you're doing that. Backup offers. I love a backup offer. first time client, we're ready to make an offer. Don't you ever let that opportunity slip away without bringing this up to get a client under agency. If you've got a first time client that's interested in a house that's under contract and you don't have them under agency and you don't find out if it's an option to submit a backup offer to get them under agency to help educate them about the process so they're in a position not only to maybe win this one ultimately, but move quicker the next time around because they feel really good about all the documents and understanding how it works, you're missing a huge opportunity, huge. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that. I love somebody who's like, well, can we still make an offer? I sure as hell hope so. I'll write it up and send it to them.
Yeah. So also with that too, Doug, like y'all might think this is shady, but you know me. Even if they have like some kind of like bogus, offer that they want to submit, take it. You get them under agency.
Get people under agency. If you have a problem asking for agency because you feel like you're being pushy, or you're not being pushy if they want to submit an offer, so do that at least. Gives you good practice if you're a newer agent. It gives them practice understanding how to go through the process and understanding what the documents are. It's literally a win-win situation.
And if it's like a lowball offer, it also teaches them like you can't do that in this market.
Yeah. Lowball offer on a multiple offer. If you don't have them under agency, you can say it's a lowball offer, but hey, let's give it a shot. Get them under agency. I'm not saying that just because I'm being greedy about our time. I'm being greedy about our time, but it's not just because of that. It's because they need the experience to go through it to learn either how to lose or how to sign the documents or understand the process. That clicking, we get it. I'm not going to say MS. Okay. Last, two other things. Appraisals, especially in a world of very short due diligences, you have to make sure that you are lighting a fire under your client's butt and the lender's butt to get whatever needs to be done to get the appraisal ordered immediately. We can't let the lender say, all right, we need you to do X, Y, Z, and then check out for a week before the clients get X, Y, Z back to them before they order the appraisal. Because just because you're under contract doesn't mean the lender's going to order the appraisal, right? They still need X, Y, and Z in some cases from your clients. So communicate with the lender, communicate with the clients, make sure everything is done so they can order the appraisal immediately, because we don't have time to wait 3 weeks for an appraisal. Just best practices to keep in mind, okay? Lastly, at least that I have on my list from notes, the letter, the buyer letter, I'm fine with that. They want to submit it. Hey, my clients asked me to pass this along. I'm working at their direction. You might want to coach them not to say a whole lot about their family or their church or God knows their race. I've never seen that in anybody's letter. But you know where I'm talking about? This would I would use like us instead of my family, things like that, just to be careful to work around that. Those are my thoughts on that. I don't think you don't need to use the letters. I think they're fine to use. Now, of course, you get an agent that, especially if they go far enough to put it in the remarks, but if you get any indication that they're not going to look at a letter, don't send a letter, because that's one of those agents who will probably fax it to the commission and report you. So, understand who you're working with, know your audience, right? Any questions? People are clicking and clacking, so people must be busy. So that's good.
I'm sorry, that's me. I apologize. I'm here. I'm late. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm glad you were able to tune in. I think it was, I hope this was really helpful to everybody. Any other questions or comments or anything?
No.
Hopefully really good to reinforce what we're already trying to do on a regular basis a lot of the time anyways. So make sure that you're doing that. All right, that's all I've got. I'll post this later. Morgan just sent over that other thing. I'll get that posted too. I don't have any other big announcements for now, other than the Zillow thing that I sent yesterday. If you haven't done that, it takes like 5 minutes tops. Go ahead and knock that out for me so that's done. And as we get more information about this, I'll roll it out. For now, nothing is changing as far as Zillow goes day to day. Just keep doing what you're doing. Just remember, as a side note for Zillow and Realtor, it's insanely important that you make some sort of note when you do anything with these leads. So I know that you've done something. So please do it. And then you can move them over to Boomtown and go from there.
So
We'll
they need to be like Realtor needs to be done within the Realtor portal.
You should at least update it somewhat, yes, in there, and then you can move them. You know, if you direct them to Boomtown, get them set up on your site and go from there, that's fine. You can handle the rest of it there. Just make sure you update it initially at least once so I can go in there and make sure that it's been acted on. And with any of those leads, Zillow or Realtor, when you get them under contract, make sure you go back and update them in the system for that. That will be pretty important, especially with Zillow going forward. But we'll continue to talk more about that. But that's all I've got for now. You guys go have a fantastic day. Let me know if you need anything, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Bye.